Impeached Carl Junction Mayor Mike Moss is now taking his case to court. I'm Blake Gully. Coming up, we'll break down the newly filed petition.
Plus, Pittsburgh property owners face higher taxes after the city votes to exceed state revenue limits. And no more leaks. The McDonald County Courthouse is getting a complete roof overhaul.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A new legal battle is brewing in Carl Junction. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Former Mayor Mike Moss is challenging his impeachment. Last night, Moss filed a petition in Jasper County Circuit Court. KOAM's Blake Gully spoke with his attorney about the case.
Weeks after being impeached, the former mayor of Carl Junction believes he was unlawfully removed from office.
In order to justify the removal, they have to show some kind of conduct on his part that negatively affected the functioning of the government of Carl Junction. And nothing like that happened. In fact, the administrator testified at the hearing that there hadn't been any disruption of government functions.
The petition also states the council relied on evidence from outside of Moss's time in office. His attorney says that made the proceedings improper.
He said the remark, again, in a private home, in a private conversation to another council member, who then filed a complaint. Didn't say anything to him at the time, didn't say, oh, Mr. Moss, that's kind of out of order, maybe you shouldn't be talking like that. No, instead what he does is he writes a written complaint.
Fleischaker is requesting a temporary order to reinstate Moss while the appeal moves forward. Next week, Carl Junction's aldermen will hold a special session ahead of their regular meeting to present candidates to fill the vacant mayor's seat. Reporting from Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
We reached out to the Carl Junction City Clerk office for a response on the filing. As of now, no comment has been provided. Authorities charge a man in connection to a Monday night shooting. McDonald County Sheriff's deputies responded to the call just before 9:30. Dispatch notified authorities the victim had been shot around the neck and head area. Upon arrival, deputies found the victim holding a towel over his left ear. He said this man, Christopher Drum of Neosho, had shot him and then left with another person. Troopers found the vehicle Drum had left, where they also found a rifle. And they say they found Drum walking along the highway looking for his phone. Prosecutors have charged Drum with felony domestic assault in the first degree and felony armed criminal action. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
We have had a few showers still passing by very slow, but none of these are really that strong. We're only getting about 1/10 of an inch of rain accumulation per hour as these slowly move over southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. We also have a couple of these isolated showers moving just north of Carthage area. So all of this is going to continue its trek off to the east southeast. By the time we get to about 10-11 p.m., we're really looking at just very isolated light showers. All of this starts to break apart overnight tonight. We could see a couple more isolated showers as we start our Thursday. But again, those are going to be very light drizzle and sprinkles, not moderate showers. And then for the afternoon, temperatures are heating up into the low 90s and the sun starts to peek back out as we head through the evening. We're going to have those details coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The city of Carthage fills 2 key government positions. The appointments came last night during a closed city council session. Mayor Mike Flanagan announced the appointment of Richard Bonine as the city's Parks and Recreation Director and Chad Deniger as the city's Chief of Police. It was a unanimous decision for both men. Bonine brings more than 15 years experience in parks and recreation management to the position. Deniger is a Carthage native and graduate of Carthage High School. He spent the last 30 years working in law enforcement. County commissioners are looking to give the McDonald County Courthouse a facelift. This comes after the county has battled leaks in the building for years. KOAM's Samantha Walker has the details.
For years now, McDonald County officials have battled leaks at the county courthouse.
It seems like over the courtrooms, of course, the seams, places where hold water, it's a flat roof, so places that hold water are where the leaks occur. We're responsible for maintaining the county facilities and our courthouse being the biggest facility we have in the county. So in that process, we're wanting to make sure that that building's repaired and taken care of to last us for a long time.
The county has repeatedly made repairs to the roof, but now it's come to a time that a total replacement is needed.
By the suggestion of the guys doing our repairs, saying they've made about as many repairs as they can, and it's time to replace the whole thing.
The project would see the complete removal of the current roof, installation of a new roof with a 20-year plus lifespan, waterproofing, and a replacement of all gutters and downspouts. The commission is accepting bids on this project until September 29th because they want to get work started soon.
Something we want to get done here as soon as possible. Again, we're responsible as a county commission to maintain our county facilities. This again is our biggest facility here in the county, and we want to make sure that it's taken care of to protect the county's investment.
At this time, county officials don't know exactly how much the roof replacement project will cost.
We're taking bids from anyone and everyone and open to all bids, and I'm sure it will be a high number, but it's something that has to be done.
Reporting in McDonald County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The project will need to be completed by mid-December to ensure payment in the 2025 fiscal year. If you're interested in submitting a bid for the project, we have the details of how to do that on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, an attempted traffic stop in Sarcoxie, Missouri turns into a chase all the way into Springfield. Police noticed a suspicious vehicle and discovered it was stolen from Kansas City. The vehicle fled for more than 50 miles with speeds topping 120 miles per hour, all while the driver threw multiple items out of the window. Springfield police and Greene County deputies were able to spike the tires, block it in, and arrest the driver. And these are pictures of the car. Police say this man, Jason Maloney of Kansas City, has been charged with felony aggravated fleeing or Valentine's Law and a first-degree felony for the stolen vehicle. He's being held in the Jasper County Jail on a no bond hold. Sarcoxie police say this is the fourth stolen vehicle case concerning Jason Maloney. Authorities in Parsons, Kansas charge this man, Khalid Rashard Lathrop Ragland, in connection with a stolen vehicle and weapons possession. Monday night, Parsons police responded to an alert from the city's flock camera system identifying a car reported stolen out of Midlothian, Texas. Parsons officers located the vehicle in a parking lot. When approached, Ragland ran away but was caught in a wooded area and taken into custody. Officers discovered 2 handguns inside the stolen vehicle. Ragland is charged with possession of stolen property, criminal possession of a weapon, and interference with law enforcement. Coming up, making enemies.
Poland's prime minister warns of World War III after a major drone incursion by Russia. I'm Trey Yingst in Kyiv, Ukraine. I've got the details coming up.
But up first, vaccine exemptions climb in Missouri. The latest data on childhood immunizations.
PSI-insurance.com for all of your insurance needs in Southeast Kansas.
At the Veterans Benefits Expo on September 11th.
This Saturday marks an important step in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. Across Missouri, more than 222,000 seniors over the age of 65 are living with Alzheimer's. That's according to the Alzheimer's Association. Organizers of this weekend's Walk to End Alzheimer's are calling on the community to join the cause, reminding us the journey to end this devastating disease starts with just one step.
A DJ with music, and we have a dog contest as well, dog dress-up contest, and we have food and drink, music and fun. It's just a way for the community to get together and raise awareness for Alzheimer's and dementia. So we're trying to raise funds. We're actually at 70% to our goal. So come on out and have a great time with us.
Saturday's event will be held at Mercy Park in Joplin. Registration begins at 8:30 a.m. Well, childhood vaccinations are making headlines, with Florida proposing getting rid of requirements for schools. Chris Bryant has the vaccination rates for students in Missouri and what health officials say about the effectiveness of the shots.
According to data from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, when it comes to the fully immunization rates of kindergartners from the 2020-2021 school year to now is around 90%.
Vaccines are really an integral part of our public health system. I know there's, questions on, most recently with COVID, what type of research goes into. Years of research, an immense amount of research goes into ensuring to make sure that vaccines are safe and effective.
The rate of kids fully vaccinated against chickenpox sits at 89%.
since the 2023 school year.
You can tell from across years of history that vaccines do work. If they didn't work, we would not be pretty much in a situation where smallpox has been eradicated. I mean, up until recent years, measles, for example, we were not having cases of measles.
The vaccination rates climb higher to nearly 98% when it comes to 8th graders, with 2 exceptions, the meningitis and Tdap vaccines. Those are around 91%.
If an individual is not vaccinated, you are going to be at increased risk, especially the pediatric population.
The non-medical exemption rate has climbed slightly each year since 2020, but medical exemptions have held pretty steady.
There are certain medical conditions that you'd basically not want to have a particular vaccination, but it's somewhat far and in between.
The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services says vaccines are an important part of the health of Missourians of all ages.
Vaccines work. They are the best line of defense, and they help protect those that can't have the vaccines.
If you have questions about vaccinations, health officials say it's best to talk to your doctor about those concerns.
Any physician, any provider, nurse practitioner, PA can certainly have that discussion with you and your family.
Individuals not vaccinated are at increased risk of contracting a virus or disease, and officials say getting vaccinated is the best line of defense. Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, a deadly shooting.
Charlie Kirk, the high-profile political activist, was shot at a campus event in front of thousands of people. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I'll have the latest coming up.
KOAM Plus, always on. Now,
home of Connect-A-Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
We have had some average temperatures today and a few showers. Let's go ahead and take a look. We got down to the mid 60s for our overnight low last night and into today, where our average is normally sitting about at 62. We were at 64, not too far off. And then our high today was right on par with average. So today was a normal September day, not really seeing a big difference there, but we did have a few showers that have started to push into our southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma counties. We're not seeing much else going on tonight other than those showers starting to dwindle. Now you can see downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex looking pretty good for the rest of the night. Those showers are really going to start to end just after midnight tonight. We're left with some drizzle and some isolated, very light showers, if not just sprinkles. And then we're going to be moving over to just partly cloudy skies. So let's go ahead and take a look at our future track as we head into the rest of the evening. Like I said, closer to midnight, most of this breaks apart and we're left with just some light drizzle, and that's going to be out in the Columbus, Oswego area, out near Veneta as well, Bella Vista, and even near the Springfield area, Nevada. This is going to be very, very light, not even 1/100 of an inch per hour. So drizzle, sprinkles, that continues into Thursday morning. Here we are about 5 a.m. Still seeing some clouds covering our central counties. Joplin may be getting some sprinkles by the morning down to Bella Vista, so mostly along I-49. Now, this will continue to push out. A few clouds roll in into southeastern Kansas by 8 a.m. And again, the same deal, just the light sprinkles to drizzle as we start our day. It all breaks apart very quickly, and we're looking at a lot of sunshine for our Thursday afternoon, maybe some clouds, but overall just beautiful weather. Again, partly cloudy skies, but temperatures warming up to the 90s. We're going to be about 90 to 91 degrees, especially with that surface heating. Could get a couple of degrees warmer. So it's going to be a hot one on Thursday. That continues Friday, 93, Saturday, 94. So this is our return of summer later this week and into the weekend. Actually doesn't really end until we get to Wednesday of next week, where we're staying in the 90s with our overnight lows in the low 70s. So we said summer wasn't quite over yet, and then here it is. We get that nice long week of summertime conditions, but you can see by Thursday, Friday, and next Saturday, we're back down into the lower 80s by Friday and Saturday. So fall will settle back in relatively quickly, but we do still have just those couple of days, 94 Saturday, 93 Sunday and Monday, 94 on Tuesday, 92 on Wednesday, and then back into the 80s by next Thursday.
Too hot for me. Well, Maggie Grebe Memorial Park in Opolis, Kansas has been a community favorite since 1980. But the playground equipment is now unsafe for children. Run by dedicated volunteers, the park is a hub for gatherings, including the annual 4th of July celebration. Volunteers created a fundraiser aiming to raise $30,000 to revitalize and preserve the current equipment while adding new pieces for park goers.
We have the manpower, we just don't have the money to do it. And so that's kind of the hard part. So we're just going to keep applying for grants and hope that, in the next year or so that we reach our goal and get our new equipment.
As of today, the community has raised close to $14,000. Well, coming up next, a change in property taxes. The city of Pittsburgh breaks state tax rules to balance the budget, what it means for your wallet.
60-plus bands perform at the 9th Annual North Heights Porch Fest, October 4th from 11 to 7.
If you've got the car, we've got the buyers. No Memorial Auditorium.
Pittsburgh property owners face higher taxes after the city council votes to exceed state revenue limits. The council made the decision in a 3-2 vote last night. KOAM's Ty Parks sat down with the Pittsburgh city manager to learn more about the revenue neutral rate and why city leaders say their hands were tied.
City Council of Pittsburgh voted to exceed the revenue neutrality rate and bring in additional income on property tax.
Accepting the revenue neutral rate would have meant that we would have had to decrease the mills and keep the tax dollars the same. And so the commission voted to exceed the revenue neutral rate and thereby allowing us to keep our mills where they are and just take that growth to put into our budget so we can keep up with inflation.
The revenue neutral rate is a state law that requires city governments to adjust their tax mills so the amount of money collected stays the same each year. Pittsburgh City Manager Darren Hall tells KOAM the reason for it to be exceeded is because of the increase in costs.
About 3% over last year. When we've gone through and calculated all the insurance, the raises, the cost of personnel, our benefits, electricity, all the utilities, the cost of goods. And so when you work all that into the formula, our costs have gone up about 3%.
Concerned citizens have already begun to ask questions. When I asked the city manager and commissioner to cut the over $74 million budget by the estimated $700,000 this tax increase would bring in, the city manager insisted that was an impossible task and tried to infer it would require cutting salaries. Darren Hall says that if the general fund were to be cut, it could result in closing a fire station.
Taxes aren't good. Nobody wants to pay any more tax than they have to. But I think the big takeaway for us is the local property tax that you pay in your community is going to be spent in your community.
In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Now, Hall says the increase is there to keep up with the rising cost of providing services for the people of Pittsburgh. Well, coming up next, NASA's rover has been busy on Mars, digging up the most compelling evidence so far of ancient life on the planet.
By Aaron Sachs and Associates, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
NASA's rover has been busy on Mars, digging up a tantalizing clue that we're not alone. Here's a selfie snapped by the Perseverance as it roamed the red planet, zeroing in on the compelling evidence of ancient life. In a dusty river channel that once carried water into the Jezero crater, the rover captured images of a rock with an unusual marking that NASA calls leopard spots. The team shared the images with other scientists to analyze. They now believe the spots are evidence of ancient microbes, the closest they've ever come to discovering life on Mars.
Today, we are really showing you how we are kind of one step closer to answering humanity's one of their most profound questions, and that is, are we truly alone in the universe? They've done the analysis on these leopard spots, and we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life.
The rover gathered samples which will eventually be returned to Earth for analysis, which is the only way to confirm proof of life. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Israel targets Yemen's Houthi rebels with airstrikes as the war continues in the Middle East. And multiple Russian drones are shot down over Polish territory as the war in Ukraine escalates.
The Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10:30, right here on Fox 14.
KOAM Plus. You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed during an event at Utah Valley University in Utah this afternoon. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest.
I heard a loud bang.
After hearing a gunshot in the middle of campus, a crowd started running for safety. Witnesses describe seeing the speaker, Charlie Kirk, being struck in the neck area and falling from his chair.
I just saw it hit him in the chest, and then all of a sudden just tons of blood gushing right out where his heart is. And then he fell over and slumped down, and everybody got down and was screaming.
A spokesperson from Utah Valley University says the shot was fired from a building about 200 yards away and that the campus closed for the rest of the day. Former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz was at the event and witnessed the shooting.
As soon as that shot went out, he fell back into his left, and everybody hit the deck.
Charlie Kirk became a highly influential conservative activist and influencer after starting Turning Point USA. The group has a presence at thousands of universities and high schools and regularly holds campus events. Kirk is credited for helping President Trump win over young voters and win back the White House. Support for Kirk after the shooting has been bipartisan.
I mean, it's just another horrible act of political violence that has no place in our country.
Israel carries out another round of heavy airstrikes today, this time targeting Yemen's Houthi rebels, hitting the capital, Sana'a. These attacks come just a day after Israeli airstrikes target the leadership of Hamas in Qatar, and what the international community describes as a massively destabilizing move. The air campaign indicates Israel is moving toward a more proactive national security posture. Well, Polish and NATO forces intercepted and shot down multiple drones that crossed into Polish territory. It's a dangerous escalation that threatens to expand the war beyond Ukraine's borders. Fox News Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst has more from Kyiv.
Officials in Poland are assessing the damage after multiple Russian drones entered Polish airspace on Wednesday. NATO jets were scrambled and the drones were shot down after at least 19 separate violations. This direct NATO action against Russian military assets is the first of its kind since the war began.
This situation brings us the closest we have been to open conflict since World War II.
European leaders immediately condemning the attack and vowing to stand behind Poland if it decides to respond.
Russia's actions are reckless, unprecedented, and dangerous.
Europe stands in full solidarity with Poland. Make no mistake, Poland has every right to defend itself.
But Moscow says it did not deliberately target Poland, blaming the navigational issues on Ukrainian jamming. Poland is now requesting NATO activate its Article 4 protocols, allowing members to bring issues forward for discussion and possible action.
To Putin, my message is clear. Stop violating Allied airspace and know that we stand ready, that we are vigilant, and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
The escalation comes as Russia steps up air attacks on civilian targets in Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky now pleading with the U.S. for a tougher response, saying Russia's actions set a dangerous precedent for Europe.
Without new sanctions, there will be no progress in diplomacy and in all efforts to end the war, and time is of the essence.
Russian defense officials say they are ready to discuss the drone incident with their Polish counterparts. In Kyiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Lindsay's next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, the Crawford County Conservation District launches a month-long campaign encouraging people to learn about pollination.
Hold on.
We have had some average temperatures today and a few showers. Let's go ahead and take a look. We got down to the mid 60s for our overnight low last night and into today, where our average is normally sitting about 62. We were at 64, not too far off. And then our high today was right on par with average. So today was a normal September day. Not really seeing a big difference there, but we did have a few showers that have started to push into our southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma counties. We're not seeing much else going on tonight other than those showers starting to dwindle. Now you can see downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex looking pretty good for the rest of the night. Those showers are really going to start to end just after midnight tonight. We're left with some drizzle and some isolated, very light showers, if not just sprinkles. And then we're going to be moving over to just partly cloudy skies. So let's go ahead and take a look at our future track as we head into the rest of the evening. Like I said, closer to midnight, most of this breaks apart and we're left with just some light drizzle, and that's going to be out in the Columbus, Oswego area, out near Veneta as well, Bella Vista, and even near the Springfield area, Nevada. This is going to be very, very light, not even 1/100 of an inch per hour. So drizzle, sprinkles, that continues into Thursday morning. Here we are about 5 a.m. Still seeing some clouds covering our central counties. Joplin may be getting some sprinkles by the morning down to Bella Vista, so mostly along I-49. Now, this will continue to push out. A few clouds roll in into southeastern Kansas by 8 a.m. And again, the same deal, just the light sprinkles to drizzle as we start our day. It all breaks apart very quickly, and we're looking at a lot of sunshine for our Thursday afternoon, maybe some clouds, but overall just beautiful weather. Again, partly cloudy skies, but temperatures warming up to the 90s. We're going to be about 90 to 91 degrees, especially with that surface heating. Could get a couple of degrees warmer. So it's going to be a hot one on Thursday. That continues Friday, 93, Saturday, 94. So this is our return of summer later this week and into the weekend. Actually doesn't really end until we get to Wednesday of next week, where we're staying in the 90s with our overnight lows in the low 70s. So we said summer wasn't quite over yet, and then here it is. We get that nice long week of summertime conditions, but you can see by Thursday, Friday, and next Saturday, we're back down into the lower 80s by Friday and Saturday. So fall will settle back in relatively quickly, but we do still have just those couple of days, 94 Saturday, 93 Sunday and Monday, 94 on Tuesday, 92 on Wednesday, and then back into the 80s by next Thursday.
I'm looking forward to those 80s again when they get here. Well, with the start of a new academic year heating up, many college freshmen are diving deeper into their new lives away from all their childhood comforts. And while homesickness and loneliness can lead to mental health woes, academic experts say combating the struggles of transitioning to college life can be easier with a strong support group. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at ways college freshmen can put themselves out there to bolster friendships and form new connections.
It's not always easy to adjust to a new environment. And as college freshmen on campuses nationwide try to start their new lives
in an unfamiliar place, doing unfamiliar activities with unfamiliar people,
education experts say the transition can be easier for young adults if they form strong connections.
Mutual anxiety can actually be a great way to bond with people.
But staying alone in a dorm room is not going to increase chances for new interactions.
Going to lunch at the same place at the same time, you'll start to run into the same people sitting in the same place in your classroom, striking up conversations with people who are just happen to be near you. It can lead to a development of a bigger friendship.
Still, all the run-ins can be stressful.
Having to meet a lot of new people is actually just mentally tiring, but physically tiring.
According to Marcy Gleason, professor at the University of Texas at Austin, it's common for people to fear rejection when trying to make new friends. But don't let those emotions get the best of you.
When we anticipate rejection, we're actually more likely to create it. So when we are thinking, I'm going to be rejected in this situation, we're more likely to behave in ways that elicit rejection than if we go into the situation thinking that we aren't going to be rejected.
Meanwhile, Professor Gleason also recommends entering situations with the mindset that other people are going to want to engage with you.
So when we anticipate being liked by others, we are more likable ourselves. We behave in more likable ways.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, still ahead, the Royals and Cardinals are back in action tonight with the season rapidly winding down. We'll see how they fared. Plus, the Galena Bulldogs are looking to build off their momentum gained a year ago. We'll hear from the team when we return.
60-plus bands perform at the 9th Annual North Heights Porch Fest October 4th from 11 to 7.
Webster and Carlton.
The Galena Bulldogs took a big step forward in 2024, winning 4 games. And as the Bulldogs enter year 3 of the Jacoby Martin era, they look to build off of last year's momentum. A key to Galena's success this season will come up front on the offensive line that features a lot of experience. With a run-heavy scheme offensively, the men in the trenches not only set the tone, but the table for those in the backfield to feed off of.
We return Braden Buckle, who's a senior, Peyton Fields, he's a junior for us, second-year starter. Those 2 guys, they're strong, physical kids. Colt McQuillan there is a guard. CJ Pilak, he stepped in to be that center for us. If those guys are firing on all cylinders, it's going to be a great night.
It's where it starts. If we're not doing our job, then really our backs can't do their job. So we just got to maintain blocks and do our thing, and then our running backs can do theirs, find holes and fill them and try to get to the house. We're all family. We build each other up. The thing we don't do is break each other down. All try our best to build each other up and lead each other, even if it's the younger guy leading an older guy that's upset, try to build him up.
To open the season, Galena fell on the road against the reigning district champion Frontenac. And as they prepare for this Friday, they're going back to the basics, focusing on fundamentals to help set themselves up for success.
These first couple weeks, that's what it's about, is taking care of the fundamentals, getting back to basics, doing what we do. Yeah, wins are great, but we want to make sure we get back to what we do, have our bread and butter working for us. And if we can get back to basics, just simple technique, that's what we're going to do.
We're a small school, so we don't have the biggest or the strongest or the fastest kids, but if you can get low and drive your legs all the time, then good things will happen. Every day, coaches and players are learning something new, putting in new drills, working extra hard every week, every day, every week, just to get better.
Galena returns to action in their home opener on Friday against Columbus. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. With under 20 games remaining in the regular season, the Royals and Cardinals have some ground to make up quickly if they want to play in October. Both teams in action this evening, starting with the boys in blue, the Royals taking on the Guardians in Game 3 of their 4-game set in Cleveland, with Kansas City snapping their 3-game losing streak 4-3, defeating the Guardians. Vinny Pasquantino recorded his 100th RBI on the season, his first time reaching that mark. Michael Garcia knocking in the game-winning run on offense. Michael Walker went on the injured list yesterday, so it was up to the bullpen to step up, and 6 different guys pitched in this one as Luinder Avila picked up his first career win. Series finale is tomorrow. Cardinals wrapping up their series in a battle against the Mariners. This one currently tied through 2 innings. Ivan Herrera putting the Redbirds on the board with a solo home run, his 15th long ball of the year. The Royals need a St. Louis victory. I know it's weird. Royals fans have to root for St. Louis as they trail the Mariners for that last spot in the AL wildcard race. Pitt State women's soccer back in action at home today against Southwest Baptist, and the Gorillas improved to 2-1 on the young season with a 5-1 victory over the Bearcats. 4 different PSU players scored in the win. Sailor Jensen leading the way with a pair of goals in this one. So some sports going on. You're seeing Pitt State women's soccer kind of starting where they left off. A successful first year, 2-1 to start this year, but finally the Royals getting back in the win column too.
Yeah, they needed that win for sure. And
For sure.
I'm glad that the Pitt State girls had a win tonight.
Exactly.
Good for them. All right, we're back with more news after this.
PSI-insurance.com for all of your insurance needs in Southeast Kansas.
Repetitive injuries or occupational disease, those are injuries that come on over time from repetitive use. It's not a sudden onset injury. Shoulders, knees, hands start to ache. They don't go report that right away because it's just an ache. But over the next few months or year,
Folks were encouraged to get outside and learn more about nature today thanks to a Crawford County Conservation District program. KOAM's Kenny Foreman went to Crawford State Park to learn what it's all about.
The Crawford County Conservation District is encouraging people to learn more about pollination through their month-long Parks for Pollinators campaign. To promote the campaign, the district held a BioBlitz event at Crawford County State Park.
You have people in the community who are becoming immersed in nature. They're getting a chance to get out to their parks.
Park visitors can take part by downloading the iNaturalist app on their phones, where they can upload photos of insects, animals, and plants. District Manager Mindy Goebel says those photos can help experts get a better sense of the environment.
This is helping researchers or some sort of document people be able to better track how our environment's doing and help find ways to improve it and fix things before things are gone forever, before species come extinct.
Also on hand was retired biologist Dan Mosier of the Heartland Beekeeping Association.
Today I'm here with this event to have the opportunity to talk to people about
pollinators, specifically honeybees. People know a lot about honeybees, but often they don't know how many other pollinators exist.
He'll tell you that without pollinators, it's a bit more tricky to get food suitable enough for the table.
If you don't have pollinators and aren't supporting something to improve pollination, and then it kind of reduces a lot of the fruit crops, a lot of the fruiting crops, and some of the vegetable crops, and how well they can survive.
In Crawford County, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The iNaturalist app is free of charge and anyone is allowed to participate. Up next, Star Power stacks up for TV's biggest night. Hilary Duff is ready to hit the high notes again, and Lady Gaga is keeping the mayhem ball rolling. That's all in the Hollywood Nation next. Hilary Duff's music comeback, Lady Gaga's big tour news, and TV's biggest night are all making headlines. Here's Fox's Anna Yiolopoulos with the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Not a sex symbol. I just want to entertain people.
Jackman sings with Hudson, Duff returns to music, and the stars align to celebrate in the Hollywood Nation. The star power is stacking up for TV's biggest night. The list of presenters for the 77th Annual Emmy Awards has been announced, which includes Angela Bassett, Tina Fey, Jason Bateman, and Elizabeth Banks. The ceremony, hosted by comedian Nate Bargatze, airs live September 14th on CBS and Paramount+. Hey, baby, baby. Hilary Duff is ready to hit the high notes again. The actress and singer has signed with Atlantic Records to release new music, 10 years after her last album, Breathe In, Breathe Out. A docuseries is also in the works following her journey back to the stage, while giving fans a glimpse into her family life, recording sessions, and show rehearsals. Lady Gaga is keeping the mayhem ball rolling. The Grammy winner announced a second North American run of her hit tour, kicking off February 2026 in Glendale, Arizona. Gaga is currently performing on the first stretch of shows, which wraps September 18th, before heading overseas to close out the new year. The announcement comes just days after she delivered a pre-recorded performance of her latest single, The Dead Dance, during the MTV Video Music Awards, where she won 4 awards, including Artist of the Year. We got things we gotta catch up on. Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson team up to create harmony in today's first looks. The first trailer for the musical drama Song Sung Blue features the duo playing struggling musicians who find love and a new purpose as a Neil Diamond tribute band. The film opens in theaters Christmas Day. Anna Yiolopoulos, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of genetically modified X-ray tetras and zebrafish, otherwise known as glowfish, in San Diego. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.